Well, hello there. Welcome back to Carly K Knits. Thank you for coming back and watching my third video. We'll see how long we keep this count going for. I have decided to issue myself a challenge. And this challenge is twofold. Element number one to this challenge is knit a sweater with no pattern or instructions. I have seen so much content about sweater construction and making. I think that I can do it. I am not gonna go crazy or anything and make something very complicated. I'm gonna try to keep it simple. I have always wanted to dabble in the world of design. I'm not a designer by any means now, but I have always thought about what it would take and what it would be like to try to design a pattern. And I think step one of that is to just try to make something without one. Just using my knowledge to inform the choices that I make in creation of something start to finish. I think I'm gonna go with a raglan construction, which at least to me in my head is the easiest way to make a sweater without a pattern. Really the only stitch count that matters is the starting neckline to make sure that that fits and that it's divisible into two large sections for the front and back and two smaller sections for the arms. And then you just do all of your increases until you get to the point where you can comfortably pinch it together to divide for the arms, right? As far as like the accoutrement goes, I'm gonna try to just do, maybe I'll do a 2x2 rib instead of a 1x1 rib. I'm not sure, I'm trying to decide about that. But I am thinking for the neck and the sleeves and the bottom hem, I wanna try something that I've seen in a few patterns that I really like as a detail, where you do the majority of the border as the rib that you're gonna do, but then the last couple of rows you do stockinette so that there's a little bit of a curl back at the end of each border. I don't know if that makes sense, but I have seen that on some other sweaters, some other patterns, and I always thought it was really elegant looking. So I am going to try that in conjunction with just raglan shaping construction work. I am not going to even try to attempt short rows to shape the shoulders. I'm not gonna do, decreases or anything to do any body shaping. I'm not doing anything like that. I'm gonna take this in baby steps and I'm gonna just try to make something that is very basic that fits me. That is step one of the twofold challenge I am issuing myself. The second part of all of this is that I have just so much random acrylic yarn. I have so many cakes of just random bought, one skein over the years from Michaels, and I have no idea what it is anymore. My husband is a crocheter. Every so often he gets like a little wild hair and he's like, I have to make this one thing right now. And he'll go buy a whole skein of a color that he needs, but he only uses just a little bit of it. So we always end up with a bunch extra. Anyway, today, for this particular sweater, I am choosing to make this a stash buster to get through a bunch of random acrylic that I have. I also am trying to make some more basics, I guess, and that goes along with the simplicity of the pattern that I'm trying to do. I want it to be simple construction without crazy texture or anything. I also want the color palette to be pretty simple and neutral. I still want it to be somewhat interesting. Like, I'm not gonna just do like a white sweater or a black sweater or something. But I want it to all be in like one color palette and just be very like chill. At least for me, when I think chill, I'm always thinking cool tones. I like wearing cool tones, and I just happen to have a ton of blue yarn in many shades of blue. So I think that what I'm gonna do for this is I'm going to do alternating stripes of various sizes, maybe. I'm not gonna be too specific in my counting. I'm gonna just do varying thicknesses of stripes of different blues. And then I also found some like cream color that I have to intersperse to kind of break up the blues. So I'll show you what I have. The thing I have the most of, and don't ask me why it's in so many random cakes, but I have so much of this navy blue. Navy blue is my husband's signature color. Like, he is a navy blue and gray person 100%. Everything that he makes is usually in a navy blue and gray combination. So I thought that this would be a good base because this is what I have the most of. And then I also have this light blue, this kind of more baby blue. It is a little bit different of a texture. I'd say it's a little bit softer than the navy. So it'll be the light blue, the navy, and then I also have this, which is just I would call it almost teal, but it feels like it's just kind of in the middle of these two in terms of shade. So I'm gonna do these in stripes, and then I'm also going to intersperse some just cream color, and I feel like that will make a very oceany, chill vibes garment, if you hear what I am saying. I thought about giving myself like a time limit as well to add a third challenge element to this, but I feel like this is going to be a relatively simple sweater in the first place. I don't know if I want to put a timer on it. I feel like I'm just going to see how long it takes me. I'm going to, put on the docket that I'm starting this today, and I am going to see how many days it takes for me to figure out all of this. We're just gonna go with it, and I'm very excited to just see what happens. This is a step out of my comfort zone for sure, but yeah, I think that sometimes a step out of the comfort zone is the way to go. I am typically not good at knitting math, and that is what makes me mostly hesitant about the step of trying to design a pattern or make something because I'm not good at determining the knitting math myself. Getting this started, my presumption is that it is going to be try it and then frog it, and try it and then frog it, and try it and then frog it situation. I am gonna just start, I think, with like 120 stitches, and I'm gonna just see how neck-like that seems in terms of size, and then I gotta figure out the proportions that I want to do for the arms and the body. Also, shout out to the people who do long tail cast on with two hands like this. I see people on the internet all the time doing the long tail cast on with this crazy thing that's whatever-ing. I can't do that. I can't do it. I can't figure it out. I have watched so many like slow motion tutorials of how people are doing that. I can't do it. So I do my long tail cast-ons like this with two hands, where I like backwards loop it and then around and then over the top. I cannot do it any other way. If that's wrong, who cares? It works for me, I guess. I thought about cheating a little bit, to be honest with you, and finding like a free pattern or something of just some random raglan sweater just to start with a certain stitch count in the neck, but I decided that I don't want to do that. I want to really truly do this without any help, so I think it's going to be a lot of trial and error, and I'm not particularly good at dealing with the error part, so we'll see. And I will meet you back here once I have 120 stitches on my needles, and we'll see how that looks. Okay, so I have already abandoned the plan that I had a moment ago. A moment ago, I was going to do 120 total stitches, and I got to 100 even, and it is making its way around this cable, which fits my neck pretty dang good. I think that this is probably going to be fine. So I think I'm going to do 100 stitches, and I'm going to do 36 for the front and back panels, and then the arms I'm going to do 14. Will that work? I don't know. But I am going to start just doing a few rounds in stockinette. I'm going to connect this in the round, and I will see you when I am, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 rounds in. I'm not sure. We'll see. So I have made it 3 rounds into my neck, just doing stockinette, and I'm using this a little bit as my gauge swatch as well, because I didn't do one of those, just to make sure that I like the fabric that the size needles that I'm using I like with the yarn size that I'm using, and so far I am liking it. It is not too tight and it's not too loose. I think it's going to make for kind of a slouchy, nice sweater without it being too loose and sloppy. Something that I think I've determined is that I previously, in seconds ago, thought that I was going to do like a few rows of stockinette and then start doing ribbing, and I'm wondering if I want to just do a stockinette neck, like just this, like maybe 1 or 2 more rows of this and have it be like kind of a short curled neck. To be determined. I'm still trying to decide. I'm gonna do another row and think about it and then make a decision. We'll see how it works. I don't know. Anyway, that's where I'm at for now, and I'm gonna say you probably won't see me again until another day. Okay, so it has been a few days as predicted. Let me give you an update on what I have done in the last couple of days. I think I'm on day 3. In the last 3 days, I have restarted this sweater twice just today. I want to take you through the things that I've done, adjustments so far, problems I've fixed just in these, first few days, and show you where I'm at now. Basically, when I first started, as you'll probably remember from seconds ago, I started with 100 stitches in the neck, and that was a just pure guess. After doing the first few rows and seeing how it looked, I was like, ugh, this seems a little wide. So I went down to 90 stitches, and that seemed a little better, which was good. I'll tell you, as you probably remember from seconds ago, I had told myself that I was not going to look at any other patterns for reference for like starting sizes or anything like that, and I cracked, and I definitely did do that. So I had another pattern in my library that was a relatively simple stockinette sweater, and I went and took a quick look at that because it looked like I think it was a similar yarn weight as well. I looked at the size that would fit me, how many cast on stitches did they start with, and I was high, especially with 100. And so I didn't go with what that pattern said specifically, but I made it a little bit closer in range to what that pattern said. So I decided to go down to 90. And then as I did 90, I realized that I wanted to do 2x2 rib, and doing 2x2 rib with 90 stitches doesn't come out evenly, because that's how math works, and that's not how my brain worked. I then ended up going down to 88, which works better for the ribbing pattern that I'm doing, the 2x2 rib. The other thing that I messed up about is that I started the pattern with my larger needles, doing my first couple rounds of stockinette for that little curly edge, and then I moved down to 8s for the ribbing. And then I started doing the raglan increases and back to just stockinette, never moved my needles up a size, and I was like a couple inches in. And it was making a really dense fabric that I didn't love, and so I was like, I'm gonna have to start this over. Frogging things and then re-picking things up with your needles is something that scares me, and I don't like it. And that basically means that I should be using a lifeline more and putting in a lifeline as I go, especially now as I'm making a sweater without any idea of what I'm doing. You'd think that I'd be smart enough to put in a lifeline. I'm not, and I still haven't. I've restarted thrice, and every single time I've not put in a lifeline at all at any of the crucial stages where if I needed to frog it back, I could. So we're really just winging it here, and have just decided that if I mess up, I'll just start over. And I'm about to get to the point where I've done enough on this that it will be really annoying to have to start over, so I'm just hoping everything's fine by this point. I am much more happy with what I've got going on now, and I have made it into the body, and I have done quite a few increase rows. I've also moved up cord sizes, and I've moved up out of my shorty needles to my longer needles. So this is currently where we're at. This is kind of what we're looking at. We've got our ribbed top with just a little bit of stockinette at the top, so it gives this kind of fun little curl detail. And I moved from this more baby blue to the navy to the cream, which I'm really liking. So that means the only color that I have not used yet is this more tealy blue, so that will definitely come next. I'm doing basically every 7 to 10 rows, I'm changing color, and that seems to be giving me good stripes. I'm really pleased with how this looks, and I'll put this on my head. It's still like pretty small, so it's not really a great try on at this point. Basically, ooh, we're about here. Yeah, so we've got our raglan increases going this way, raglan increases going that way. The neck is a little looser than I anticipated, but I think I'm okay with that. I think I've decided that I'm okay with the neck being a little looser because I don't want to be choked, you know, but I still think that this will sit up here. And as the sweater, you know, weighs down a little bit more, it'll probably also kind of stretch a little bit. So it won't be as turtlenecky, it'll be a little more crew, and I'm okay with that as well. I'm really excited with how it's going so far. I am glad that I am past the point of really thinking that I need to go back and fix things. I will probably have another update for you in a couple of days. I'm gonna watch a little show now, probably, and keep working on this, and I will see you probably tomorrow evening, maybe? Hi, welcome back. So remember how the other day I was like, see you tomorrow? Lies. Straight up lies. It's been about a week. There's been a snowstorm and I've had really bad allergies and lots of other things that got in the way of filming. And while I have not been filming, I have been making a lot of progress on this sweater itself. So I wanted to just go through all the things that have happened with it in the last week. Mostly what's happened is I've just made a lot of progress on it. I've done a lot of knitting on it. I have gotten to the point where I split for the sleeves, and I'll show you how it's looking on here in a second. I have made a couple of decisions along the way about how she's gonna go that I wanted to talk about. Because the plan has changed a couple of times. Initially, my thought when I first started this was that I was just gonna do stripes the whole thing. I was gonna do the whole sweater in stripes, and that was just gonna be how it was. And then for a couple days, right when I was about to split for the sleeves, and shortly thereafter, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just do stripes in the yoke area, and then once I split for the sleeves, then I'll just do a solid color all the way down. Because I did have a big brain moment, and I did remember what kind of yarn this light blue is. This is Lion Brand Pound of Love, and I was able to find the color. So I was like, maybe I'll just do the whole body in this color, and like the bottom of the arms in this color, and then maybe just do a colored cuff, like the navy for the cuff or something like that. I don't know. And then I started doing larger stripe of that light blue, and I went, no, I think this sweater is asking to be a fully striped sweater friend here. That is the plan that I went back to. I also realized that the 2 balls of cream that I had were slightly different colors, so that's going to be a little bit different, and I didn't alternate them. So the top 2 stripes of cream are going to be a little yellower than the bottom ones. I've decided I don't care. It's whatever. So I have now gotten to the point where I've split for the sleeves, and I've done a couple of inches, so it is at a good place to kind of try on and give you a progress update. So I will do that thusly. So this is where we're looking at so far. It's going really well. It's, you know, it's working up pretty fast, especially because I've only been working on this for about 2 weeks, and that's like really inconsistently. Like, I've taken many a day off, many a day break from this. So, you know, for the amount I've actually worked on it, it's worked up pretty fast. As you can see, I have continued on the kind of variable stripe width situation. I'm really liking it. You can see right here that there is just a little bit of a variance of how I attached yarns together. Again, it's yet another design thing that I just have decided I don't care about. I'm not gonna go back and fix it, so that's just kind of how it's gonna be. It's kind of my philosophy with knitting in general. Unless it is like a really big mess up, I just kind of usually let it be. I'm really happy with how it's coming out. I am really glad that I decided to not go for the body being a different not a different color, but to do the body as a solid color and not continue the stripes, because I actually really like how the stripes are going. So I will see you in a second when I am wearing this so we can see what it looks like on. Okay, so I have her on. Barber cord is secured. We will just hope that everything works out and I don't drop a whole bunch of stitches. And yeah, but anyway, so right now you can see that it's just kind of like halfway down. I would say I have, you know, about this much more to do on myself, I guess. I don't know if you can see my hand, but yeah, we've got quite a bit more distance to go for sure, but how this is working and how this is fitting so far, I'm really happy with it. I am enjoying the neck being not super tight, kind of giving me a little bit of ease here, so I don't feel like I'm getting choked. And I think once the arms go on and it has a little bit more weight, it's gonna spread out a little bit more like this. And I also like that. It's more, like I said, it's more like a crew than it was before. The arms definitely are gonna give me enough room. Under the arms, I cast on 4 stitches additional so that it would give a little bit more room in the arms and a little bit more room in the body. So far, the body has a lot of positive ease, so I'm not worried about it being too tight. I am very excited about that because I am definitely a fan of the oversized sweater. I'm not somebody who likes things to fit tight. It's just not how I am. I am really excited to keep going. I will give you an update. I'm not going to promise a time this time because I was clearly wrong last time. So the next time I see you, hopefully, maybe I'll give myself a goal in terms of how much progress I want to have made. I think that I want to get to the point where I'm going to start the body ribbing by the next time I talk to you, but we'll see if that actually is how it works out. I'll see you when I see you. Hello! So it has been, again, several days, and I said I was going to update you when I got to the body ribbing, and that just didn't happen. I just powered through the body ribbing, and I also started a sleeve. So I wanted to give an update now so you can see kind of where we're at, and I'm really pleased with what I've got going on here. Is this done? Oh, it is done. I'm really pleased with it. I have tried it on a couple of times. It feels really good. I did make a decision with the ribbing, partially because I made a mistake and I did something that I didn't intend to do, but then I ended up liking that better. I was going to do the 2x2 rib on all of the ribbed parts, the neck, the wrists, and the bottom hem. And then I started doing the bottom hem and I did a 1x1 rib just out of habit because that's the one that I just have the most muscle memory of doing. And I was like, oh man, and I had been going for a couple of rounds and decided that I could rip it back and do it again, but I actually liked that ribbing more. I almost wish that I had done the neck in that ribbing too. Maybe I'll do some sweater surgery later and I'll change it. But for now, this is where we're at. As you can see, we've got the whole body now, including the rib. I did continue on the bottom, the couple of rows of stockinette at the end to give it just kind of a little bit of a whimsical flair, a little bit of a roll. And I think it's kind of fun, but like, look at how fun this is. I feel like this came out so nice. I love the variable widths of the stripes. I think it looks so good. And as you can see on the sleeve that I've started, I decided, oh, wrong sleeve. Wow. As you can see on the sleeve that I started, I am continuing the pattern of the body so that the sleeves and the body match. I wasn't gonna do that before. I was just gonna make the sleeves random, but then I kind of looked at it and was like, I don't think that's gonna look great if the sleeves are completely different stripe widths and order than the body is. So I decided to go along with it. Really happy with how it's looking. I'm really excited to wear it. And I'll put it on here so you can kind of see what I've got going right now. Really excited to wear it when it's done, and I will be really powering through these sleeves. Okay, so I have it on and it is so comfortable. It fits loosely. It is not too tight. It has a lot of stretch to it. now that I have the whole body done. You can see on the bottom, this is kind of how this is rolling like this. And I did make sure that I did quite a bit of ribbing, and I did make the body of this pretty long. And I am really glad I made that decision, because then when I put my arms up, it doesn't go up too high. And as you can see on here, you've got this arm that I've started, so you can see that it lines up from where the stripes are on both sides. Super awesome. What I'm trying to figure out now, and a decision that I have yet to make, is when do I start doing decreases on the arm? Because I don't like having arms that are too tight, but I also don't want them to be like too loose and baggy. So what I'm thinking, because there is quite a bit of room in here right now, I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, let's talk about it in terms of stripes. Maybe when I get to this last stripe of light blue, maybe that's when I start doing decreases like every other row or something. And then it'll give it more of a poofed arm look rather than like a gradual taper. Yeah. To be decided. Have not decided that yet. I am really excited about how this is looking and fitting. I'm also, something that I've been thinking about but I haven't talked about yet is acrylic. Doesn't really do wet blocking as a natural fiber like wood would. So I'm trying to figure out how I can get this to lay a little bit better, because as you can see, there's, you know, these yarns are a little bit different. All of them have a little bit different weight. They all have a little bit different texture. So I would like to see what I can get to even out a little bit. And I know you can do like steam blocking with acrylic. I might try to do that. I might try to throw it in the wash and just see if laying it flat to dry would help. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some thinking on that. So far though, pleased. So I am gonna say, because I've been so right every time I've given a prediction about the next time you'll see me, I am just going to play it safe and say that the next time you see me, we will have both arms done. And then it'll just be an update of the end of the sweater, and then we can do like a before and after if I figure out how to block it. That works for me. I think I'm gonna go with that. Yeah. Anyway, see you soon. Okay, hello and welcome back. I, after, what has it been? A little over 2 weeks, have finally finished the sweater. I went into overdrive this weekend trying to get it finished so I can post this video in a at least semi-timely manner. I am really pleased with how it turned out. I am really excited to wear it when I've tried it on. It's really soft and really comfortable, and that's something that I was looking for out of an acrylic sweater in general. Just something to throw on. It doesn't require any special care. It can be thrown in the washer. Like, it's just easy. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. So, look at her. She's done. I have not weaved in my ends, believe me. I haven't weaved in my ends. I have not made any attempt to wash or block it. That is for another day. I don't have time for that. I just want to put it on and show you and just be proud of myself for how it looks. So yes, look at how nice. I'm really pleased with how the ribbing on the bottom turned out. I actually really like the little flare. It's really great. I'm really pleased with it. It does still kind of have the situation I was talking about earlier, where because the yarns are a little different, they're all a little bit different in weight and texture. It has a little bit of bunching from stripe to stripe, but it's honestly not as big of a deal as I thought it was gonna be. As I got towards kind of the middle of this sweater, I did start to get a little nervous that I was gonna run out of yarn. Because, you know, when it's a scrap project, you don't really know what you've got, and especially because I wasn't using a pattern with like an estimated amount of yarn, I just kind of was winging it to see if I had enough. And when I got towards the middle, I got a little bit worried that I would run out of certain colors. But I didn't run out of any of the colors, which is great, but I did use a lot of them. So, I mean, if you remember before how much I had of each color, I had several of these navy blues. I had 2 of these light blues. This kind of teal one was a much bigger cake, and I had 2 kind of medium cakes of this cream. So I did significantly downsize how much yarn I had for this project. And now this is the only navy blue yarn I have left, which is kind of crazy because I've had so much navy blue yarn for such a long time. I think I accomplished all of the goals that I set for myself. I made something that I didn't have a pattern for, and I just kind of figured it out as I went. And I used up a lot of scrap yarn, and I made myself a classic sweater that I think I'll wear for many years to come. But anyway, enough of holding it. I'm gonna try it on and I will show it to you for real, for real. Look at how cute it turned out. I am really, really pleased. I think it turned out so cute. It is so comfortable. It is the simple basic that I was looking for. It feels very classic. I'm just like really stoked about it. I think I really nailed the length on the body. I was really wanting to make sure that it didn't fit like a crop. I feel like I always get bored at the end of this body of sweaters, and I'm like, oh, it'll be fine, and then it ends up being too short, and then I don't like it. I think this is like the perfect length that's not like a dress, but it's not too short. It's like right in the middle. The sleeves appear a little bit short. I'm hoping that over time, over, you know, several washes, and just wear, that it'll, you know, kind of stretch out just a little bit, so they're a little bit longer. But I actually kind of like a little bit of a shorter sleeve on a sweater, because then when you go to like wash your hands or you need to do something, it just kind of automatically rolls itself up for you, and that's pretty nice. I do like that. I am super proud of myself, honestly. As this is the first, you know, full-on garment that I've ever made without a pattern and very minimal reference to other patterns, I think it came out really, really good. I'm really excited to keep going down this journey. I have been really inspired to do more design work lately, so hopefully that will be more of what you see coming in the next, you know, few weeks and different videos in the future, as well as, you know, doing other designers' patterns, because sometimes you just need to do something that somebody else figured out for you. I am really just really happy with how this came to be. I have decided on a, I think, release schedule, a semi-loose release schedule. I'm gonna do bi-weekly on the weekends. I think it's gonna be a Saturday/Sunday-ish. Basically, when I finish the video, when it's done being edited over the weekend, I will post it. So I will see you all in 2 weeks. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And yeah, bye everybody.